ex-president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, wrote to President Obama he's demanding $2 billion in frozen funds. Ric Grenell is with us, former U.S. spokesman at the UN, and he's a Trump delegate. Is this more fallout from the $400 million cash payment for release of the hostages? Is that what this is all about?
Yeah, and it's also fallout from the larger $1.7 billion that Iran is demanding that they get back. Look, one of the problems with Iran's demand that they get this money back is that there is no assumption from the Obama administration or from any of the Democratic allies that all of the terrorist activities that the Iranians have been leading and funding over the last 40 years somehow is to be part of this criteria.
Well, wait a second,
I just
Rick.
feel like
Mr. Ahmadinejad is a former president of Iran. He's a hardliner. He's not in power at the moment. Is he using this cash demand as a way of getting back into the leadership, again becoming the Iranian leader, and basically saying, look, we got $400 million out of Mr. Obama for those four. Maybe we'll get a whole bunch more if we pressure him. And he's using that leverage to get back into power. Is that possible?
Well, I think he's playing to the domestic politics inside Iran, where a lot of people feel like if you stand up to the United States, there's a reward for it. And look, by the way, you just talked about what's happening inside Afghanistan. I think that what happens in Iran as the leader of state sponsor of terrorism, that other radical groups follow their lead. They see that it is about $100 million per hostage, and so everyone is trying to get more inventory.
But this is a disastrous
because what they want to do is negotiate with Obama.
That's a disaster. Every American in a war zone or even a sort of a hostile zone is now subject to kidnapping for ransom. I mean, they're all out there.
There's no question. There's no question about it, and this is totally the example of the Obama administration and how they negotiate. Donald Trump is right. They're terrible negotiators.
Okay, I've got this one for you. I've got newspapers in Britain reporting that Russian tanks are massing near the Ukrainian border. What's that all about?
Look, I think this is more weakness from not only from President Obama, but I think that both our presidential candidates are signaling that Putin can be Putin. And I think that is a problem. What we're seeing all over Eastern Europe is that our allies are becoming very nervous. In Ukraine, there seems to be very few punishments for what Putin and what Russia have done. Even the Germans throughout all of Europe are leading the Europeans into not increasing the sanctions against Russia. There's been very limited penalties for seizing Crimea. And this is a terrible signal, not only to those fighting for their freedom inside Ukraine, but for Moldova, for Romania, for Poland, for our allies who are trying to face towards Europe, who are trying to work with NATO and are being punished by Russia.
Rick, thank you very much for joining us on this important subject. Much appreciated. Thanks very much, Rick.